Picture this. You're driving down a dark desert highway, rain pouring down, and you pull into a lonely roadside motel, guided only by a flickering neon sign. We all use hotels, right? We check in, we sleep, we check out. But have you ever stopped to think about the sheer volume of humanity that has occupied that exact same space right before you? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the unsettling phenomenon of transient spaces. We're looking at how the anonymity of a locked hotel room or a luxury high-rise becomes the absolute perfect cover for people who want to disappear, and sometimes for the predators who prey on them. So it really begs the question, how many dark secrets have you unknowingly slept right next to? Think about it. You're surrounded by complete strangers, separated by just a few inches of drywall, people constantly passing through, leaving absolutely no trace. The anonymity of a locked hotel room makes it the perfect place to hide a secret, or even erase a life. It's a transient ecosystem that practically invites the unexplained. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Secrets of Room 214, the eerie history of a single room number. Now, there are some incredibly eerie coincidences tying this specific number to tragedy, scandal, and mystery all across the globe. We're talking everything from the political espionage of the 1972 Watergate break-in, which was orchestrated from a room 214, to the infamous haunted clown motel in Tonopah, Nevada, where a poltergeist in room 214 supposedly turns the lights on and off, or consider the heartbreaking 1996 case in Seattle. A woman checking in under the alias Mary Anderson went to room 214, drank cyanide, and left behind absolutely zero identification. She even snipped the tags out of her clothes. To this day, nobody knows her real name. The thing is, modern hotels are literally engineered for isolation. They're built to be sterile, quiet, and to keep the outside world firmly outside. As this quote highlights, these indestructible barriers refuse to surrender their ghosts. They allow Jane Does like Mary Anderson to vanish into thin air right under our noses. And honestly, this architecture of isolation is exactly what makes our next topic possible. That brings us to Section 2, the phantom guests, people who erased their own identities. We're talking about people who didn't just go missing. They actively, meticulously erased themselves from existence. Take the woman known as Jennifer Fairgate. Back in 1995, she checked into the luxury Oslo Plaza Hotel. When she was found dead days later, every single clothing label had been snipped out, stitch by stitch. Even the serial number on the gun in her hand had been professionally melted off with acid. Then, years later, you have Peter Bergman arriving in Sligo, Ireland. He gives a fake address, and surveillance actually catches him leaving his hotel every day with a purple bag full of his belongings. He specifically used the blind spots of the town's CCTV cameras to throw away his past, piece by piece, before his body eventually washed up on a beach. Let's map out Jennifer Fairgate's final hours because it only deepens the mystery. She checks in without a credit card or passport. Then there's this baffling 20-hour gap of zero keycard activity. Seriously, where did she go? When security finally knocked on her door on Saturday, a single gunshot rang out. Police breached the room 15 minutes later, only to find the door double-locked from the inside. She was found with a briefcase containing 25 loose bullets, zero luggage, and holding the gun with her thumb on the trigger, which is highly unusual for a weapon with heavy kickback. Was she a spy? An international assassin? We still don't know. Fortunately, not all of these guests stay phantoms forever. In 2001, a young man checked into a Washington motel under the fake name Lyle Stevick, paid for his room, and tragically took his own life. For 17 years, his identity was a complete blank. But by uploading his DNA to open-source genealogy databases like GEDmatch, researchers located distant cousins. They built out these massive family trees until they found a young man whose family thought he was just voluntarily estranged. Finally, a simple grade school fingerprint confirmed his identity, giving his family closure after nearly 2 decades. Let's move on to Section 3. The Highway Motel Killer, Predators in the Shadows of Transient Spaces. Now, what happens when a hotel isn't used to hide yourself, but used by someone else to hide you? In August 1988, a young waitress named Angela Pierce finished her shift at the Desert Rose Diner in Tonopah, Nevada, and vanished into the vast night. Her prized possession, a pristine turquoise Cadillac, was left abandoned in the parking lot of the Silver Star Motel. The night manager there, a man named Frank Dorsey, claimed he knew absolutely nothing. For decades, Angela was just another missing poster fading in the desert sun. And nobody knew the horrific truth of what actually happened inside that motel. Decades later, a construction crew renovating the abandoned Silver Star Motel broke through a false floor in room 6 and found Angela's remains. When police finally confronted Frank Dorsey's son Carl, the dark truth spilled out. His father had attacked Angela. And worst of all, when Frank forced his son to help hide the body beneath the concrete foundation, Angela was still breathing. As we lay out Dorsey's horrific trail, we see a chilling pattern. He used the inherent transience of highway motels to operate completely unseen for nearly 2 decades. Moving across Nevada, California, and Utah, he specifically sought out night manager positions. Why? To gain absolute authority and access to vulnerable young women passing through alone. When police finally searched his hidden storage unit, they found the driver's licenses and jewelry of multiple missing women kept as sick trophies. The very nature of the motel business, people coming and going, paying in cash, was the absolute perfect camouflage for a serial predator. Which brings us to Section 4, the silent mass disaster, America's crisis of the missing and unidentified. Let's zoom out to look at the staggering macro-level data here. The National Institute of Justice rightfully calls this a silent mass disaster. Over 600,000 people are reported missing annually in the United States alone. Now, while the vast majority are found quickly, roughly 19,000 remain active missing person cases today. And then there are the over 10,000 unclaimed decedents. These are people identified by name, but authorities simply cannot find a single living relative to notify. But perhaps the most heartbreaking statistic of all is this number right here. Over 13,000 published, active, unidentified person cases. These are Jane and John Does resting without a name. People whose identities are completely lost to time, sitting in morgues or unmarked graves, just waiting for a genetic genealogist or a sharp-eyed detective to finally piece their story back together. Some mysteries fade away, but others, they continue haunting America forever. I really hope this explainer leaves you thinking about the secrets locked behind those numbered doors and the identities still waiting to be found. Was the mysterious guest running from someone? Was it a planned disappearance, or did something far darker happen inside that room? What do you think happened to people like Jennifer Fairgate? Comment your theory below. You never know what piece of the puzzle